What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video of the Beginner's Blueprint. Today is day 34, and we're going to be going over how to backtest. So I actually got a comment in one of my most recent videos, and it was someone asking me if I can make a video on this, which was perfect because I was going to make a video on it anyway. And backtesting is super easy, and a lot of people have different ways to backtest, different ways to do certain things in the market. However, the way I backtested literally my entire time while day trading is fairly fucking simple, right? So how do we backtest, or how do I backtest? I only focus on the session I'm trading. So, right, I'm trading New York AM, so I'm only looking at the moves from 9:30 to 11:30, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm locating the big move and see why that move happened, right? That's literally all I'm doing, right? So I'll be using my strategy, which is the inversion strategy. So I'll be locating the move. If there wasn't a setup that presented itself with the PDI, then I can look for a continuation. And if there was no continuation, then I can look for the mech. Okay, so jumping into our first example, these aren't going to be cherry picked either. I'll go through 4 of the days with you. We'll go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. And we'll do them live so you guys can see what my thought process is. So what do we normally start on? Well, we start on the daily. This is the previous day low. All right. And then let's drop down to the 4-hour. Previous day low is going to be right here. What do we have on the 4-hour? Well, we have this 4-hour for value gap. Okay. Let me get rid of this. So previous day low, this 4-hour for value gap, that is this red box. And then what else do we also have? We have this hourly gap as well. So perfect. What do we do at market open? Well, we have this hourly accumulation zone right here. Okay, so now I can be anticipating an AMD model on the higher time frames. Here is our accumulation zone, and then what do? We manipulate lower at 8:30, right? So we had 8:30 news this day. So I'm not looking to trade any of this due to the fact that I don't trade till 9:30 anyway. So what do we do at 9:30? Well, we come up into this 15-minute for value gap right here. So I can be like, okay, if we're truly bearish, we can expect us to come down and take out these data lows, right? Because what do we know about data highs and lows? Well, if we take out one, we're most likely going to go to the other, or vice versa, right? If we take out the lows first, we're most likely going to go to the top. So we didn't take out the lows first. So if we were bullish, I wanted to see a sweep of the data lows and then continue higher. Well, what do we end up getting? Really just chop. Okay, maybe we want to take out the highs first and then continue lower. So what do we have? We have a possible 15-minute for value gap that opened up. Do we get a tap into this 15-minute for value gap? Here, let's go down to the lower time frames. No, we do not. So we continue higher and higher and higher. What ends up getting created? We take out data highs, but we don't reverse off the data highs, right? We're just continuing higher and higher and higher. What do we end up getting? Well, okay, we get a 15-minute for value gap right here and a 15-minute for value gap right here. Clearly, we got no continuation model. So, and then we see a reversal. So why are we reversing? Let's figure out why we're reversing, and then what are our targets going to be? Well, now our targets are going to be these unfilled 15-minute gaps, right? Because we couldn't get a PDI model due to the fact that price just ripped at open, and there was a giant 15-minute bearish gap right here. And we couldn't get a continuation model. Why? Because, well, these fair value gaps didn't get tapped into, okay? So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the mech model. So what PD arrays are up here? Let's go to the higher time frame. Let's get our narrative. Okay, we have this hourly that got retested along with these hourly highs right here. Boom, we're back inside of that hourly for value gap. Is there anything on the 4-hour? We're inside of a 4-hour for value gap as well. What else is there over here? Is there a 15-minute? No 15-minute. This 15-minute got inversed, but it doesn't matter because we're inside of the hourly. So no 15-minute, right? So what other narrative can we use? Well, do we have an SMT of some sort? What do we have over here on ES? No SMT. Well, we do with this candle. Hold on. But this didn't end up mattering because we continue higher. So we ended up taking out data highs on ES. Okay, cool. We reversed. Okay, why did we reverse? Well, swept out data highs, hourly for value gap, along with, I believe there was a 30-minute for value gap in here as well that was unfilled. Right, so now we have conviction. We have our higher time frame conviction, which is hourly. We filled this 30-minute. Boom. What are we looking for to target then this shit below us, right? Which is going to be this fair value gap and this fair value gap. Let me get these out the way because these are the bearish fair value gaps, and we're going to be targeting the bullish fair value gaps, right? I know fair value gap can be very confusing. Okay, so we have a 2-minute right here. We have a 3 minute, no 4 minute, and I doubt there's a 5 minute if there's no 4 minute. Yeah. So what do we have? Well, we have a 3 minute fair value gap right here. That's going to be our highest time frame leg. Boom. Candle closure. This is our gap model. Take a short. Stops at swing highs. And then where are our targets? Well, this unfilled gap and this unfilled gap all the way down here. And what ends up happening? I actually ended up taking full partials or full profits at this first gap. But as you can see, both of them got hit. So what are we doing now? After we find out why the move happened, what are we going to do? We're going to go and journal. Okay. What are we journaling? How are we journaling? Let's write it down together. What is the date you back tested? Okay. That is going to be the first thing you put in your journal. All right. What session are we in? That is going to be the second thing you are going to put. Okay. What confluences did we use? Wow. Sue. Well, what did we use for this trade? We used a sweep of data highs, so a liquidity sweep. We used a fair value gap tap, which was a 30-minute, the hourly, and I think that was it. I think just the 30-minute and hourly. And then what else did we use to enter? Well, the inversion fair value gap, okay? So what is the date you backtested it? What session are we in? What confluences do we use? What else are we looking for? What model did we use? Okay, did we use the gap model? Did we use the PDI model? Did we use the continuation? Holy fuck, I think I botched that. Whatever, I'll leave that. Okay, so not only are we writing these three things down, but we're also writing what model we used. And then on top of that, where was... Okay, and then you're going to write what is your stop loss in your TP set to. So not only... Where is it at? I know it's around here. Not only are we only focusing on what session we are trading, right? And we're trying to locate the big move and see why it moved, right? What PD rates did we use? But we're also going to be journaling it as well, okay? So when we journal, this is what we're going to write down. What is the date you backtested? What session are we in? What confluences did we use? Did we use a fair value gap? Did we use a liquidity sweep? Did we use an inversion fair value gap? How do you guys enter? Do you guys use CISD? Do you guys use break of structure? How do you guys enter? I personally use inversion, so I'm going to write that down as well, okay? Did we have an SMT? In this specific case, we didn't have an SMT. All right, what model did we use? Was it the gap model, which was this case right here? Was it the PDI model? All right, the pre-distribution inversion? Was it the continuation model with inversions? What fucking model did you use? Okay, write that shit down. And then where was our stop losses and take profit set to? Well, in this case, it was set to two 15-minute or unfilled 15-minute gaps. And what do we know about unfilled 15-minute fair value gaps? Well, that's the fucking gap model. Okay. So there is that. That is Thursday. Let's jump on over to Wednesday. Wednesday at, let's just do 11:30. Look, this is live example. I don't even know what the fuck happened on Wednesday. Let's delete all our other shit. Oh, actually, hold on. We're going to keep this one because we're going to go back to it. Okay, but everything else can get deleted. Boom. All right, cool. What do we have right here? Well, we have 9:30. What else do we have? We have... Or that was like 11:30. Okay, we have 9:30. Where are we on the charts? Let's go to the daily. We're at fucking all-time highs, okay? So nothing really like above or to the left of us that we can go off of. So what do we do in all-time high markets? Well, dude, why can't I move this shit? Oh, because it's locked. Wow, I'm over here raging. What do we know about all-time high markets? Well, they're tough to shorten because there's nothing to the left of us. So what do we like to see? We'd like to see continuation models getting formed and conditions being opened, right? So off rip, we already took out all-time highs, right? These were the all-time highs, also previous day highs. Cool. Did ES do that? Yeah, ES did that as well. Okay. Why is this there? know what these are either. But yes, ES did that as well. Here you go. If you guys want to see previous day high, boom. Okay. Took out previous day high. What else is on the 4 hour? Okay. As you guys can see, we have the slight accumulation manipulation range, but as this candle, or before this candle formed, this one was still chopping around. So my condition up until this point was, yeah, we swept out previous day highs, but my condition is going to be this 4 hour fair value gap, right? Why? Well, because what do we know about 10 o'clock? Well, 10 o'clock, this candle opens. So this move hasn't happened yet. So I'm showing you guys what I'm looking for pre-market. Okay. Jesus Christ, it's hot in here. So this was my condition. So I can assume, okay, this is how I'm thinking. 4 hour fair value gap opens up. 10 a.m. is about to open. If we inverse it, we can expect this unfilled 4 hour gap right here. And then what else do we have on the hourly? Well, we have this unfilled gap as well. We have this unfilled gap as well. Okay, so how are we going to get there? How are we going to get down into this range and enter, right? We don't just want to enter off the fucking first 1 minute inversion. That happens. Why? Well, because we're at all-time highs. There's nothing to the left of us. So what do we have? Well, we have 15-minute bullish gaps opening up. We have one right here. I'll mark these in blue. Let's get rid of this 4 hour because we already know that gets inversed. We have a miniature one right here that I'm just going to mark like this. Okay. We have another one right here that I'm going to mark like this. Okay. And then what else do we also have? Well, we have a 15-minute IFEG that happens right here. Okay. Boom. 15-minute IFEG. And we have conditions that open up. But we're not taking a continuation model. Why? Well, because did any of these conditions get tapped into and respected? No. So what is that setting us up for? We aren't taking a PDI strategy at fucking all-time highs, right? Unless if you have crazy fucking balls, but there's no conviction up here. Like, okay, maybe you got some fucking 1 minute inversion in here, or maybe there was a 5 minute. Was there? I think there was a 5 minute this day. No, like there's really no fucking entry up here. Okay, you don't want to be trading this anyway. This is low-key just chop. So you want to wait for it to make a move, right? We have targets below us. If we truly are bearish, okay, we're probably going to go to those targets. We have all these unfilled gaps. Cool. How are we going to get there? Well, we can take a continuation model. If there's no continuation model and we leave unfilled gaps, what do we know about the gap model? After we hit a key level, we're most likely going to retrace into those unfilled gaps. So there's always a chance to play both sides of the market, okay? So coming down, coming down, coming down. Do we tap into any of these 15-minute Peter A's without touching our high time frame key level first? No. Okay, but what do we get? We get a tap into this 4 hour gap. What else do we get? Oh, fuck. We also get a sweep of these hourly lows as well. Okay, so now only do we have a liquidity sweep, we also have a, on the 1 hour, we also have a 4 hour gap, and I believe there might have been an SMT with this. Let's see, 1500. Where's 1500 at? No way, it was all the way down here. Did these not get swept out? 1500? No. Okay, so boom. We have an SMT as well. See, I do remember this day. Okay, so that adds now to our bullish bias, right? Because we have, I wouldn't even say an AMD model, but we get a retrace into a 4 hour bullish gap already at all-time highs. Cool, now we can target some buy side, okay? What targets do we have above us? Well, we have this 5 minute. We have this 5 minute right here. And then we also have 3 15 minutes above us. So we have clear targets above us. Cool. What do we end up seeing happen? Well, price goes to these 5 minutes. So cool. How are we going to take this mech model? Well, let's build conviction. What do we have? We have a 1 hour liquidity sweep. We have a 4 hour fair value gap tap. We have a 1 hour SMT. Okay, cool. What am I looking for after we build conviction? Well, I'm just looking for the highest low time frame inversion. After we tap it, what do we get? Well, we get this leg lower and we get this 1 minute opened up. Is there a 2 minute? Nope, no 2 minute. Is there a 3 minute? Nope, no 3 minute. There was a 3 minute right here. That was actually my break even point. Was there a 4 minute? 4 minute, same spot as the 3 minute and the 5 minute. Okay, but since the 3 minute and the 4 minute are so far up here and the 1 minute is down here, then okay, that's fine. We can go ahead and enter off this 1 minute right here. Why? Because we can utilize this 3 minute and 4 minute as our break even point, just in case price does want to hit that and then continue lower, maybe for a resweep. But as you guys can see, let's take a long position right here. Let's go stops at the lows, and let's go take profit to the second 5 minute gap. Okay. If you guys were truly convicted that price was going to retrace, which I was, I ended up just having my break-even point at this first 5 minute and just completely disregarding this fucking 3 or 4 minute. But either way, this would have worked in this this model right here. What model is this? This is the gap model, okay? How did we build conviction for the gap model? 4 hour PDRA, 1 hour sweep of liquidity, 1 hour SMT, 1 minute inversion. Bingo. That's all we need to write down. Okay. What session is this? New York AM. Boom. What date was this? August 13th, Wednesday at 11:18 a.m. Let's go. Why didn't we take a continuation? Well, did we get a tap into our conditions? Did this 15 minute get tapped? Did this 15 minute get tapped? What about this 15 minute? Did that get tapped? No. We fucking didn't. Was there any 5 minutes that happened and that opened up? Actually, I believe there was a 5 minute. Yeah. No, this wasn't it. This 5 minute got tapped. We were kind of in this chop zone, so I wanted to see this 15 minute get tapped. Nothing happened. This 5 minute was opened. Yeah, so nothing really, right? We didn't miss out on a continuation model. There was no PDI. Why? Because what do we need? Well, we need higher time frame conviction, and when we're at all-time highs, there's nothing to the left of us, okay? So what do we end up doing? We ended up building conviction by using stuff to the left of us after price came down or retrace essentially on the higher time frames, right? This is a higher time frame retracement. Now, what do we retrace into? Bullish PDRAs, okay? So let's jump on over to the day prior to this one, which is going to be Tuesday. Okay, so let's jump on over to Tuesday. Again, I did trade on Tuesday, so I do know what happens, but I'll walk you through my thought process if I was to backtest this, okay? So what do we see pre-market? Well, we see two fucking drakes to the upside, and you're like, okay, that's kind of awkward because typically pre-market we're moving like this, right? So we can assume we had news, okay? So what do we have? We have data lows, and we have data highs all the way the fuck up here. Okay, this is what it looks like. Actually, I don't even think those are data highs. I think it's just this one. These are data highs. Okay, so data highs get swept out. What do we have fucking around in the pre-market? Well, we have this 15 minute fair value gap. Okay, and then where was price? Well, what is around us? Let's build conviction. London lows already got swept out. Asian and London were in this general range, right? So nothing really happened. What are these highs over here? Are these hourly highs? Are they 4 hour highs? What are they? They're previous day highs. Holy diddy. So this is a 4 hour high, and let's see where previous day high is, right? All we're marking out is that, oh, it's actually previous day high as well. Cool. Okay. So what do we do? Market, or right after the fucking data candle. Well, what do we get? We get a sweep of these data highs right here, which is now irrelevant. And then we get a sweep of these previous day highs. Did we get a sweep of these previous day highs as well? On fucking, what is this? The S&P 500. Let's take a look. Previous day high. Up until this point. Here's previous day high right here. Let's go back down to the 15 minute. Yeah, boom. Okay, we swept out previous day highs as well. Okay, so there's our high time frame narrative. And we took out data highs. And what do we know? If we take out data highs, we're most likely going to go to data lows. Okay, so we're building conviction. We're building conviction. I believe this day I took a continuation model, but you could have took multiple things right here, right? So we have draws lower, right? Market opens. What do? We come up higher. We don't actually end up sweeping out these highs on either asset. We don't get a SMT, okay? And we're also inside of this giant bullish 15 minute and inside of this fucking bearish 15 minute as well, right? So we're kind of bouncing between two PDRAs. But if you were convicted that price was going to go lower towards this data low right here, then what could you have done? Well, we tapped into this 15 minute for value gap. We swept out previous day highs. That's going to be our high time frame narrative. What's our middle time frame narratives? This 15 minute for value gap. What else is on our middle time frame? Well, we have our 5 minute inversion right here. Okay, so if you really were convicted, then you can go ahead and enter off this 5 minute inversion. Stops at the highs. Take profit to data lows, okay? For a 1.04 RR, you would go ahead, write this down. What is our conviction? Previous day high sweep, okay? Data high sweep. 15 minute fair value gap test, right? This blue square. 5-minute inversion for value gap. That is our entry. That is what you're going to write down. What date is it? Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. What time did this happen at? Well, you would have entered at 9:40. Where's your stops? Swing highs. Where's your take profits? Data lows. Boom. You just backtested the day. Okay. So you guys should be backtesting about, I would say, a week's worth of data every single day. And you guys only need to be doing that for about a week, and then you'll build enough conviction on your guys' strategy. But that should only take about 2 hours. And that's being generous, because I've just went through 2 or 3 fucking separate occasions explaining it to you guys as well, and it's only been maybe 15 minutes. So it should take no longer than 2 hours. But what do we get here? We get a 5-minute inversion. Boom. Data highs get touched. I'm going to touch you. Say you didn't like that trade and you didn't want to take it. What else was there? Was there a continuation model? Okay, cool. A 5-minute opened up right here. I bet you guys didn't even see this shit. So you got to have eyes in the fucking market. Boom. We would have missed this 5-minute inversion because you didn't like it, but let's build further conviction. Okay, 5-minute happens. Boom. If you got to trade breakage structure, what do we get? We get a breakage structure right here. I don't trade breakage structure, but what ends up happening? We end up creating a 5-minute. Let me go right here. We end up creating a 5-minute gap along with doing what? Edging our take profits. So now that's actually better for fucking us. Why? Because now we have 2 targets to target. We have these relative equal lows and we have data lows. Okay. So what are we waiting on? Well, let's wait on a tap into this gap and then a rejection out of it. There wasn't a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-minute in this scenario, but there was a 30-second. If you guys are backtesting on TradingView, you aren't going to get the 30-second, but the 30-second happened about right here. Okay, we're going to go short off the 30-second inversion. We're going to go stops at the swing highs, and we're going to go target, we're going to target the data lows. What do we end up getting? Bam. Smack that trade in about oh my god, I just got a fucking Amber Alert. Palm Beach County kidnapped children. That's fucked. That's unfortunate. Niggas are weird. Ooh. Anyways, yeah, 30-second inversion coming out of the 5-minute. What is this? A fucking continuation model, okay? We get a continuation model. We also get a PDI model and that I just showed you guys. But if you missed the PDI, boom, let's wait for a continuation. Open up, okay? What ends up happening? We come down and tap data lows for whatever reason. Let's say you miss both of those setups, okay? What are we overall? Well, we're bullish. Why? Well, because we're clearly bullish. We came down, retraced into this gap. But even though we inverse this gap, what do? We tapped into this hourly right here. And again, these aren't cherry picked. I just remember this day. When you guys are in the live market, you will remember these days, okay? So if we're taking longs, cool. What is our high time frame narrative? Well, it's this 1 hour gap right here that I bet you guys didn't even see. Okay, we tap into the gap. What do we have? Well, we don't really have any unfilled gaps, right? There's no 5-minute up here. This 5-minute already got filled, so that's invalid. And then this isn't even a fucking fair value gap. So we tap into this gap. If we want to take longs, well, we're going to want to wait for conditions to open up. What do we get? Well, we get a 15-minute right here that actually ended up getting tapped. So that will be condition 1. Let's see if we get anything sooner. We have a 5-minute down here, but clearly that never gets tapped on. We have a 5-minute right here, but that never gets tapped on either. So all we have is this 15-minute that opened up. So, okay, boom, start journaling. We have an hourly fair value gap. We have a 15-minute fair value gap that opens up. What else do we have? What time are we in right now? Oh, never mind. I thought this was a fucking 10 a.m. open high, but it actually ended up being this right here. It was an AMD, and we manipulated into this fair value gap. Okay, so what do we have? We have our accumulation zone, right, that we can also use as confluence. What do we have? We have our manipulation zone right here. Okay, how do we know this is a valid manipulation zone? Well, what did it manipulate into? It manipulated into this 15-minute fair value gap. Absolute fucking cinema, right? So hourly fair value gap tap on the higher time frames. We couldn't find an entry. Okay, what did we do? We waited for a condition to open up. What was our condition? Our condition was the 15-minute. Boom. What are we waiting for when a 15-minute opens up? We're waiting for it to come down and tap into it, especially for bullish, and it's a bullish condition. Oh my god, I fucking hate bugs, bro. I hate Florida. what do? We manipulate into it. When we have our manipulation leg, which is this leg right here down, right? Do we create a fair value gap? Yes, the fuck we do. What are we doing? Oh my God, I'm splurging everywhere. What are we doing? We're entering off this. Boom. Long position. Long John. My Johnson is long. What are we doing? Stops at the swing lows inside the fair value gap because they should be protected. So price, if we truly are bullish after this AMD model, there should be no reason that price comes down into this low right here. What are we targeting? We're targeting this high, which is a 15-minute high. We're targeting this high, which is I think an hourly or 4-hour high. And what else is near us? I think there was, oh my God, I don't know where fucking price is at. Oh, and there's this over here. This was all-time highs. So boom, we have 3 clear targets. What am I doing? I'm entering all day, every day off this entry, and I'm targeting these 15-minute highs right here, these hourly or 4-hour highs right here, which I think they are both, and these all-time highs up here. What is this? This is a 1 to 4 point, let's call it 5 RR trade. I actually ended up making barely anything off the trade because I went break even once ES created an SMT with both of these highs right here. So we actually ended up coming up sweeping them out right here. And if you guys see on the NASDAQ, we were nowhere near it. So I actually ended up taking profits on my exit phase somewhere around here for a 1.29 RR. And then I actually ended up going break even on my TradingView account, which at that time was holding my evals. So I actually didn't profit anything off this, but if you guys held, boom. Okay. And if you guys did get stopped out, what other opportunity presented itself? Well, we have this 1-minute version right here. Okay. What are we doing? If we missed the first entry for whatever reason or got stopped out, then we can go ahead and go long and still have the exact same targets for what? Well, a 2.22 now, which is still fucking terrific. That's all we need. So what ends up happening? 15-minute highs get taken out. Hourly highs, 4-hour highs get taken out. All-time highs get taken out. Absolute fucking cinema. That's a banger trade. So what are we writing down when we backtest? 1 hour fair value gap that happened all the way the fuck down here. Okay. Then what? Then we have an AMD model. And what do we manipulate into? We have an AMD into a 15-minute fair value gap. Jot that down. What do we get after we tap the fair value gap? We get a 1-minute inversion. What are our targets? 15-minute highs, hourly 4-hour highs, all-time highs. It's that simple. That's how you guys backtest, okay? I'm not even going to go over Monday because Monday was a no trade day due to the fact that we just went fucking sideways the entire day. So there's nothing to even look at on Monday. But this should be pretty simple, okay? It should not be that hard to backtest. Let's go over this shit one more time, right? If I can fucking find it. Oh my God. Okay, well, what do we know? What are we doing? Well, we're only backtesting our session, right? 9:30 to 11:30 is what I trade, so that's the only session I would be backtesting, okay? What model did we use? We're going to write that down. Was it the gap model? Was it the continuation model? Was it the PDI model, okay? What were our confluences used? In this last scenario, what did we use? Hourly fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gap. We got a 1-minute version and also an AMD model, okay? Where was our stop loss set? Where was our take profit set? Swing lows in this, and also our take profits was what? 15-minute highs, hourly highs, all-time highs, okay? Bingo, there's that. Also get the date down, mark the date down, boom, you're done. Okay, so what are we looking for when we're backtesting? Well, we're just going to mark out the 9:30 to 11:30. And we're just going to be focusing on the moves that happened in between there. All you guys are doing is literally just seeing why that move happened, okay? And if there was no entry or no valid entry, if you guys have to question an entry, okay, like a PDI, let's say, if you guys are questioning a PDI, then let's wait for a continuation. Was there a possible continuation that opened up? And then we can build more conviction off that, okay? So that is how you guys backtest. If you guys have any comments, please put them in the comments. I will try to answer your guys' questions or comments, concerns. Put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them to the best of my capabilities because I know there might be some people out there that still have questions after this video, which is completely okay. That's completely fine. But my job here is to help beginner traders out, and especially when you guys are new beginner traders, you're going to be backtesting. So this video is what was I going to say? This video is going to be helpful, hopefully, towards most of you. Leave a subscription if you guys like. I would appreciate it. I'm at 50 subs now. I appreciate y'all, boys. I was just at like 41, like 41, the fucking, or 41 the other day. Anyways, LoeGpa on all socials. Leave a like, leave a sub, do whatever you want. I'll catch y'all boys tomorrow. We're nearing the end. We only have like 2 videos left, okay?